Hello, children. I hope you all are very fine. And let us continue with the subject. You all have given one test in this week. So, today my lecture will be divided into two parts. In the first part, I will complete the topic that I was continuing the previous day, and then in the latter part, I will discuss the different questions, and I could find out that some of you were having some confusion regarding some of the answers. So I will discuss those, and I will solve your queries as well. So let us continue with the topic contribution of agriculture to the national economy, employment and output. So the previous day I have done that what will happen if there is stagnation in the agriculture or there is declining share of agriculture to the national economy. It's a matter of very serious concern, and the steps that our government has been taking since a long time to improve the rural economy, to boost up the rural economy so that the share of this sector increases in the economy. Now the question arises why this stagnation in agriculture has occurred, and this is the thing that we will discuss today. My main emphasis will be on why the stagnation has occurred in this sector and not in other sectors. The other sectors are flourishing, and this primary sector with special emphasis on agriculture is stagnating in spite of different kinds of reforms by the government in spite of different kinds of efforts by the government. So let's see why this stagnation has occurred in this sector. Now, the first reason is poor employment generation. The agricultural sector is generating less employment mainly because there is less opportunities for employment generation in this sector. People is now diverting to the other sectors of the economy, like the other sectors. The secondary and tertiary sectors are expanding more at a faster rate. They offer better remuneration, means better salaries. So more and more people are attracted towards the other sector. Moreover, there is increase in the education level of the people. The normal people who are getting educated, at least the basic education they are having, they are no longer interested in working in the farms and fields as labor. Previously, what used to happen, there were many people, many families in the rural areas who were illiterate, and they were happy to retain their age old practice. But now they are also becoming aware because the media is becoming more active. Telecommunication links are very much well developed now, connecting the rural areas, the remote areas, and they are getting new opportunities. The government has tried its level best to provide opportunities to work in the rural areas, and as the other sectors are expanding, the people are more and more interested towards the secondary and tertiary sector because they generate better wages, they generate better salaries. So there is very less employment generation in this agricultural sector because the remuneration is also very less, an agricultural worker or laborer get very less money, and people are moving away from the agricultural sector to the other sector to earn better, to live better, to have a better standard of living, to give a better quality of life to the family members. Children, in your book there is a line that the growth rate in agriculture is decelerating, which is an alarming situation. And of course it is an alarming situation because if the number of farmers in our country continue to decrease, then what will happen? The food security of our country will be affected. The population is growing at a fast rate and all of us need sufficient quantities of food. So if the number of farmers decreases, if the people divert to the other sectors, then our country's food security will be directly affected and we will have to depend upon the imports. And if we have to depend upon imports, then it is going to affect the people in a large way because we will have to spend a lot to buy those agricultural products which we are getting from the other countries, and indirectly they will start controlling our economy. Not only that, the rural poor will not be able to afford those products. So the life of these people will also become very miserable. So it is very necessary that the agricultural sector is paid utmost importance for the betterment of not only the rural people but also the urban people. Now, what we find that our farmers are unable to compete with the farmers of other country. The main reason is that our farmers are very poor and the farmers of other countries, the European countries, USA, Russia, they are very rich because there are very few people who are there in this sector, but they are having large farm sizes and they are getting sufficient support from the government in the form of finances. Now, when they are producing whatever products they are producing, they are easily selling it to the government and at a very cheaper price. So their price is quite less. But our farmers here are more in number and they are not getting much financial support at present. Of course, our government used to support the farmers in the past. Lot of support was given, lot of reforms has been introduced by our government, but the number of farmers are more. Our government cannot support the farmers financially in a large way. Lot of schemes has been brought by the government and it is up to the farmers to take the advantage of the scheme. Slowly what is happening, our government is going with reduction in the public investment in agriculture sector. The funds are being diverted to the other sectors of the economy like the secondary sector and the tertiary sector because they are much more profit earning. They will help to earn a better position or better percentage in GDP. So our government is gradually trying to reduce the investment in agricultural sector and they are diverting the funds to other sector like for example the funds from irrigation, power, rural roads, market, mechanization, farm mechanization, all those are being diverted to the other sectors. Similarly, subsidy on fertilizer is also being reduced. So what is happening? The farmers have to invest money more from themselves and this is increasing the cost of production of the farmers. Our country has also reduced the import duties of some of the agricultural products that is coming from outside. You know, children, nowadays when we go to any departmental store, you will find that the brands of different products are there which are not produced in our country. There are so many multinational companies who have entered our market and selling different kinds of agricultural products, like for example our cornflakes. Now this cornflakes is much more popularly sold here by the Kellogg's brand. There are other also brands which are processed in our country and sold, but they are not very much popular. Here advertising also plays an important role in shaping our minds, and we get much more attracted by the packaging, by the advertising or the marketing policies of the international brands. So import duties of different kinds of agricultural products has been reduced, because nowadays it is the world of globalization, liberalization, privatization. All these we have already studied in economics. So we say it as LPG: liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So because the entire world is now taken as a global village, and so very easily the products of different countries enters our market, and the farmers cannot do anything, because the farmers of our country cannot produce that super fine quality which are provided by the international farmers. As a result, our farmers remain confined to our country. But if it happens slowly and slowly, if the people are getting better quality products, international products at the same price, then our country's people, especially the urban people, they will buy those products. So what happens in reality is that our farmers are gradually reducing their investment from agricultural sector, causing a downfall in employment in agriculture. You will be surprised, children, that huge acres of land has been bought from the farmers by the real estate builders, and they have converted the farm areas into urban centers like our Noida, Ghaziabad, or this Gurgaon. All these are expanding at a fast rate. And do you know, the lands have been purchased from the farmers. The Yamuna Expressway has been constructed by taking lands from the farmers. So all these farmers, especially in Punjab, Haryana, they are feeling that they cannot earn so much of money by producing in their farmlands. So what they are doing, they are selling the land, getting a hefty amount from the real estate builders, and they are keeping it in their bank account and earning interest. They are living a happy life by the interest that they are earning from that amount. And in this way, children, if the farmers continue to sell their agricultural plots and thinking that it is not going to earn much profit, it will not generate employment in the country, so it will be detrimental for our country, because then we will have to depend upon imports of different kinds of agricultural products, because the farmers are not producing better quality. They cannot compete with the international farmers. They are selling away their farmlands, and all these farmlands are being devoted towards increasing and expansion of the urban areas. Now let me discuss some points some questions which I had given you in this revision test, weekly test. Now one question where I found the second question: agriculture practices varies depending on There were four options I had given: standard of living of people, GDP, physical environment, imports by government. So the basic thing on which any kind of farming practice or cultivation depends is the physical environment, not GDP, not standard of living, not imports of the government by the government. It is the physical environment which decides what type of crops will be grown and what type of agricultural practices the farmers will adopt, because the physical environment means relief, climate, soil. I always say that in geography, physical environment means something that is natural. Then another question was there: Bivar is a cultivation form. So Bivar is the primitive subsistence cultivation or the shifting cultivation, and Bivar is practiced in Madhya Pradesh. I had given you the options of countries, so obviously the answer will be India. Then another question I had given, the fourth question: which feature is not associated with primitive subsistence farming? So here I had used the word not. That means which one does not belong to the primitive subsistence farming. So here the answer will be maintaining soil fertility, because in primitive subsistence farming the farmers are mostly dependent upon natural soil fertility. Your fifth one was: intensive subsistence farming is practiced in areas of, I had given four options: sparse population, dense population, medium population density, all the above. So the answer will be dense population. All the countries of Southeast Asia, they carry out intensive subsistence farming. Your next question was: commercial farming uses modern inputs, skilled labor force, irrigation water supply, all the above. So all these are the features of commercial farming. Next, my question was: market plays an important role in primitive subsistence, plantation farming, intensive subsistence, all the above. So in case of primitive subsistence, it is consumption by the family members. In case of plantation farming, it is totally for sale in the market. So intensive subsistence also, of course, some amount is sold, but in the local market. But it is the plantation farming which totally survives on the market demand, market supply and demand. Then I gave you the eighth question was: rice is a commercial crop in West Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, Punjab. Of course the answer is Punjab, because here whatever is produced, it is sold in the market. My next question was: Rabi crops are sown in, that is when the seeds are sown. I had given you the option of months: April to May, July to August, October to December, June to July. So obviously the latter part of the year, that is October to December. My 10th question was: Aus, Aman and Boro are the varieties of rice, wheat, jowar, bajra. So the option is rice. Sugarcane grows during, I had given the three season: Rabi, Kharif, Zaid, and none of this, because the sugarcane takes 10 months time. So the answer will be none of this, because throughout the year it is on the soil. My 12th question was arhar. Arhar is a pulse. So it is a leguminous pulse. It is a pulse which grows during the Kharif, Rabi, Zaid, throughout the year. These are the four options. So this arhar is a pulse which grows during the Kharif season. Maize requires the following soil. So in your book it is given old alluvial soil. So I had given you the option Khadar, Bhangar, laterite, red. So Bhangar is the old alluvial soil. Some of you have made mistakes in this. You have written old alluvial soil. So the option was already given as Bhangar. India is the world's largest producer and consumer of millets, cotton, pulses, jute. So the answer is pulse. My next question was, which one is not a leguminous pulse? Leguminous pulse always restores the soil fertility in a natural way. So I had given you peas, arhar, gram, moong. So arhar is a pulse that does not restore the soil fertility. My next question was, which variety of coffee is grown in India? So I have given you the 4 varieties of cotton. All the varieties are the varieties of coffee in our country. Coffee in the world, not in our country, sorry. I had given you 4 varieties. In fact, in the world there are almost 100 varieties of coffee grown, but 4 of them are much more popular. So these 4 varieties were coffee robusta, coffee excelsa, coffee liberica and coffee arabica. So our country produces coffee arabica. It has been brought from Yemen. Which food crop is grown in both tropical and subtropical India? So here subtropical, children, I meant the states also which are lying in the subtropical zone, and especially the states which are hilly, the states which are hilly like Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh. So which food crop is grown in tropical and subtropical India? Now children, if you see the name of this crops here, which food crop is grown in both tropical and subtropical India? If you see the name of the food crop, I had given ragi, rice, wheat, bajra. So bajra, of course, Gujarat and Rajasthan. Wheat, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh. Yes, they are subtropical states. Rice, but the question was tropical and subtropical both. So wheat is not much grown in the tropical states. In case of rice, it is of course grown in the tropical but not much in subtropical state. So here rice will not be there, wheat will not be there, bajra will not be there. So the option is ragi. My next question was, which crop can be grown in variety of soil? So the option was jowar, rice, wheat and sugarcane, because sugarcane is grown throughout almost in most of the states of our country. So it will be sugarcane. Then I said frost-free condition, but frequent showers is necessary for. So frost-free condition, only 2 crops were there where frost-free was required. So far, I mean the portion that I have given. Otherwise, there are many crops which require frost-free conditions. So here I had given the options: oilseeds, tea, pulses, sugarcane. Obviously, tea. And the last question was, the following crop requires immediate processing. So tea, oilseeds, coffee, sugarcane. So immediate processing here, children, the answer will be sugarcane, because sugarcane juice has to be extracted immediately so that the content of the sucrose does not fall. So immediately the sugarcane is harvested and taken to the mills for crushing. So the option will be, the best option will be sugarcane. So children, I hope that your doubts are cleared regarding your test answers. So kindly be careful next time. Many students have done well, but those whose performance were average, they can always do better. So thank you children. Enjoy your day. Have a nice day.